Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Show. On the program tonight, the Congress leader Pawan Khera is deplaned, arrested and then finally released on bail after personal remarks that he made against the Prime Minister, which resulted in an FIR being filed in Assam. Is action against Khera excessive? That's what we're looking at. Does law enforcement primarily target the opposition? We'll share the details and we'll also bring you an exclusive interview, a short one, which my colleague Vedant did with the Assam Chief Minister. And then we'll move on to our top debate. Also on the show tonight, an aide of the self-styled religious preacher in Punjab will be released from custody, is what the police have said, after hundreds of his supporters overran a police station near the state's Amritsar city in a demonstration against his arrest. The video of this is just crazy. There was no rule of law. The police overwhelmed by a Khalistani supporter and hundreds of his supporters. The name of this organization is Waris Punjab Day. The mobs descended on that police station, were armed with swords and guns. It's not the first time that we've seen cults go berserk in Punjab. This was truly frightening. That's half past the hour. But first, let's give you the big story and details of that. Now, Pawan Khera, the Congress leader, was deboarded from a flight to Raipur. That happened at 12:30 this afternoon. Indigo says that Mr. Khera was deplaned on the instructions of the police. Several Congress leaders who were with him got off the flight with Mr. Khera as well. Between 12:30 and 1:30 p.m., high drama on the tarmac. Congress leaders were on dharna. They were seen arguing with the police. At 1:30 p.m., Pawan Khera was arrested by the Assam police from the airport. He was arrested over insulting comments that he apparently made to the Prime Minister. 2 p.m., the Congress moved the Supreme Court against this arrest. At 3 p.m., the Chief Justice led a bench and heard the Congress's petition on Pawan Khera. At 3:30 p.m., the Chief Justice led bench did grant him interim bail, but the cases will be heard in their entirety. Khera, the Chief Justice, said in his order, has apologized. He will issue an unconditional apology as well. The Chief Justice gave notice to Assam and Uttar Pradesh on clubbing of FIRs against Khera. At 6:30 p.m., Pawan Khera was out on bail. The principal spokesperson of the Congress party arrested in this manner. So that's what this is all about. Now, a lot of these arrests or a lot of these FIRs have in recent times been filed in Assam. So what we're going to do is two things. Firstly, we're going to bring you an interview, a short one, a reaction of Pawan Khera as he got out. And then we spoke to the Assam Chief Minister as well, asking about these arrests. Let's just listen in to what they said.
We right now have with us Pawan Khera, senior Congress leader, the man of the hour. Sir, thank you for speaking to NDTV. Aapko finally bail mil gaya hai. How do you see this entire case against yourself?
This is the victory of the legal process of this country, of this great democracy called India, which we are trying to uphold and fight for.
So finally, are you going to Raipur, sir?
Yes, of course.
Tomorrow morning, is it?
I'm trying to go tonight, otherwise tomorrow
So,
morning.
sir, the Supreme Court said there needs to be some kind of discourse even in the political sphere. The comments you made, was it a slip of the tongue?
I will not comment on that right now, since it's a sub judice matter. All that I want to say is that the majesty of law has upheld my rights, my liberties.
So the Congress leaders are saying that it's a attack on the fundamental rights. Do you see?
Absolutely, they are right. Absolutely. Without any FIR copy being given to me, without any notice being served on me, I was asked to deplane as if I was a terrorist.
Many Congress leaders are also saying it looks like a unsaid emergency, you know.
You know what's happening around. This is not the only example of people's rights and liberties being curtailed. Today it's me, tomorrow it could be anyone.
BJP alliance. The big story back in Delhi was the arrest of Mr. Pawan Khera. And, the kind of, do you think the kind of overdrive that Assam police went into arresting him, do you think it was arresting him from the tarmac? And
No. I mean, how somebody has been arrested, what procedure followed is a different thing. But if a FIR is come and is registered under a relevant section of law, police is duty bound to arrest the person. Now, whether he is in sky or whether he is in earth. So if a offence has been committed, police has to arrest him. We don't go by the manner.
Right. My last question to you, sir. The kind of overdrive that Assam police has gone into, in this kind of clampdown on the opposition leaders, whether it was Jignesh Mevani, now,
What is clamp down? Can you abuse a father? Because I said something about father of a leader, Congress has filed 130 FIR against me in Telangana. So what is about that?
Right.
So just you be reassured that whenever a offence is committed, there will be clamp down.
Whenever an offence is committed, there will be clamped down. But is this not excessive, and is this not political vendetta, is the question which is being asked. Salman Soz of the Congress with us, Aman Lekhi, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court, Neerja Chaudhary, the Senior Editor, Janki Khond, Assam BJP spokesperson, and Bhaskar Ghosh, the BJP leader, will be joining us in a few moments. Aman Lekhi, let me come to you first actually, because if you look at the FIR, and I'll just read out one line from it, just to get your view on this. The FIR said that the remarks made by Pawan Khera were defamatory, derogatory, provocative statements, right, about the father of Narendra Modi, right, which has breached public tranquility, promoted hatred, ill feeling between two political parties and classes, right, divide among various sections of society, which is why action is required. Is this not excessive?
Well, Vishnu, first, the comment was vile and tasteless, undisputedly, and shows the new depth of political discourse, which is debasing itself every time
I
a
agree
person
completely
speaks.
with you.
That
Yes.
said, the reaction, the reaction which law warrants has to be restrained and has to be proportionate to the wrong. Just hearing the Chief Minister, two things I want to flag. One, merely because an offence is committed, it's not necessary that an arrest takes place, because the power of arrest, it's now almost a cliche in legal circles. Power of arrest is different from justification for arrest. Arrest is part of investigation, and unless it is warranted for investigation, that you want the person to actually disclose something, recover something, or assist the police in the investigative process, only then you arrest, firstly. So, merely because an offence is committed, arrest is not obligatory. Secondly, for an FIR, there has to be a cognizable offence. The offences which have been mentioned are not attracted to the facts of the case, because those offences relate to creating division on the ground of religion, in some way imperiling national integration, creating public mischief, or provoking disorder. Only one section, at a stretch, you can say is attracted, and that is 504, which will not be attracted because it can give Mr. Modi a cause to react, to cause public disorder. That is what the section actually entails, which has not happened, would not happen. And in any case, that is a non-cognizable offence. So the two things which are wrong over here is, one, the assumption that when there is an offence, arrest is obligatory. Two, the fact that an FIR could be registered ignoring the non-existence of a cognizable offence. Now, merely because sensibilities of a politician are hurt doesn't necessarily mean that the legal system will be put into operation, because the service of the legal system is to law and not to the person. And it is not uncommon that in discourse we entail or hear abuses.
Sure.
And abuse doesn't always lead to a criminal offence. So as far as the law makes a distinction between what is morally inappropriate and legally unacceptable, for a criminal process to initiate, there has to be infraction of law, and hurting our sensibilities is not yet a penal offence in the sense it may attract defamation, for which there will be a complaint, or certain other offences under the
Mr. Lekhi, you've explained it beautifully as far as the law is concerned, but for this lay person out there, and I'm sorry to be saying it in these words, isn't this the legal system throwing the kitchen sink at somebody? Why? Because you have the power to do that. That's the bottom line.
No, absolutely. You see, law always emphasizes proportion. It is in proportion that the reasonableness of law operates. So as far as the reaction is concerned, it has to be relevant to the wrong. Public condemnation is warranted. Denunciation of Khera is necessary. But because public condemnation is warranted, that doesn't necessarily mean that you will have these sections in a report on an assumption that arrest must necessarily follow, because the punitive aspect of law has got nothing to do with the legal provisions,
Right.
but has got to do with the hurting of the sentiments of a person who is considered to be in some way sacred. So that is not the way in which the law has necessarily to deal with these things. A balance has to be maintained, and restraint, as I said, is absolutely imperative in a reaction for that reaction to be in any way justified.
Okay. I want to go across, I know Salman is waiting, but I want to go across first to Bhaskar Ghosh of the BJP. Again, Mr. Ghosh, just reading this FIR, right? And it says, among other things, that this is part of a deep-rooted conspiracy, the remarks made by Mr. Khera, a deep-rooted conspiracy that is going to destabilize the nation with intent to discredit and destabilize the nation by disreputing the Prime Minister of our country, which can also be seen as a part of that deep-rooted conspiracy by a certain vested and interested circle of which Sri Khera is a part. I mean, is this, you know, it's an FIR which has been filed. The police landed up from Assam to the tarmac of Indira Gandhi International Airport on the basis of this. I mean, is this not judicial overreach? I mean, is there any sense in this? Pawan Khera is waging a conspiracy against the nation. Is he that powerful?
Jishnu, one thing, the wording have been given in the FIR is, I think, as perfect as possible.
I see.
It is a deep-rooted conspiracy which started way back from the Manishankar Iyer abusing him like a chaiwala's bete, how he could be the Prime Minister of this country, from V.S. Ugarappa calling him as a Bhasmashur, Mallikarjun Kharge is a Ravan, and this is the dictionary of love the Congress is spreading all around this country, where in G20, the President Biden is acknowledging him as a friend. So this is not a conspiracy, then what is called the conspiracy? See
So what about the remarks made by Prime Minister Modi against Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi?
I am telling you. I am telling you,
what about the comments made
which
against Sonia and Rahul Gandhi by Prime Minister Modi in the past?
You are diverting from the FIR. It has been conspiracy. This is a different subject we are talking. I will answer
Let's
to
talk
that
about
also.
the conspiracy.
But
Yes,
as
please.
you mentioned, as you given me this clue, the conspiracy deep-rooted, that is why the Assam police has flown down to Delhi just to arrest him, because he is a part of this conspiracy. 420, see the section which has been mentioned is 420B, criminals conspiracy. And
so what is the conspiracy?
From Manishankar Iyer to
could you explain to me,
Mallikarjun Kharge,
what is the conspiracy?
And to long list.
What is the conspiracy?
The conspiracy is that, I tell you the conspiracy, on one side the whole world as well as India is apprising the development model of Modi ji, and he is making more popular on each and every corner of this country, in each and corner of the world.
So if the opposition
and the whole
criticizes
India has been
the
really
BJP,
enlightened.
it is a conspiracy.
Why I am telling you what's conspiracy?
Bhaskar, you are a very senior leader of the BJP.
Is enlightened in the world.
If the opposition criticizes
it is a conspiracy
the government,
to
it is a conspiracy.
To demean the reputation of the country in front of the world. It is a conspiracy to demean the trust and faith of this common people of India, who has given thumping majority to the BJP as well as led by the Modi ji.
Okay.
This is the conspiracy.
Okay.
They are the
Let me get
anti-nationals.
Salman
They are the
Sood's reply.
anti-nationals. They are the anti-government and they are anti-people.
So you've got a lot to answer, Salman. Please go ahead.
I mean, what can I say, Vishnu? I mean, the judge, jury, and executioner, they've already made their case. But let me tell Bhaskar ji a couple of things. If he was the Prime Minister of India right now, he would also be, respected by the US President. That is not because Bhaskar ji is special. It is that India is special. Because the same Mr. Modi was banned by the United States.
New India. Who
Please
has
listen.
New
Please,
India?
please do not. Please maintain some etiquette. I did not interrupt you. The same Mr. Modi was banned from visiting the United States because of the Gujarat riot. So This is not about a person. India is not Modi. Let me make it very clear for you. Now, what my friend and colleague Pawan Khera said in the press conference about the Prime Minister, it was a slip of tongue perhaps, but these kinds of things, these words, it's a play on words. This happens all the time. Where is this going to stop? So if I say that there is a Modani, Toot-Boot Sarkar, is the Prime Minister going to take offense? He should maybe, because we are offended by how this government and this crony capitalist government is creating inequality in this country. That is offensive to me. But I'm not going to file a case against Mr. Modi. We're going to take that to the court of public opinion. And that is what Mr. Modi must do. Mr. Modi cannot say that, oh, I'm hurt. The strong Prime Minister, I'm hurt because Pawan Khera said something bad about me. I'm going to start crying. Every time he's going to get offended and he's going to start filing police cases. Is that what democracy is? Is that how we should be doing this? And by the way, that man in Assam who thinks he's more loyal than the king, that corrupt man, that man against whom there are many, many cases. And when he went to the BJP, all the cases suddenly disappeared. He should not think for one moment that he's going to be immune from the laws of this land, because ultimately he will have to be accountable for what he's doing. And by the way, the Supreme Court, what the Supreme Court should be doing, if there's anybody who should be arrested, it is those people who use public machinery like they did right now in Pawan's case, to arrest him. This decent
Salman,
man.
one second.
To arrest the decent man.
I want to go back to
the chief spokesperson of the main opposition party of the country. The person who ordered his arrest, he should be arrested.
Okay, one second. I want to go back to Aman, because, when you find arguments as vitiated as this, and calls about conspiracy and our nation suffering, our reputation suffering, I take comfort in what the law says. I'm not a lawyer, but I read judgments. And what the Supreme Court has said on arrests is important. So let me quote. Merely because an arrest can be made as it is lawful does not mandate that it must be made. Personal liberty is an important aspect of constitutional mandate. If arrest is made routine, it would cause incalculable harm to the reputation and self-esteem of a person. The occasion to arrest an accused during investigation arises when custodial investigation becomes necessary or it is a heinous crime. Now again, the remarks made by Mr. Khera were offensive. They offended me. I mean, why would anybody want to say something about somebody's father, whatever? I mean, deliberate or not. But the Supreme Court has said that there has to be application of mind. Where is that application of mind in this entire thing? Mr. Lekhi.
Well, Vishnu, law always makes a distinction between offence and injury. And everything which is offensive will not be legally injurious. Now, it is undisputed it is offensive. The question is, does it in any way violate the law? Now, the law is encapsulated in sections. The sections are part of this particular FIR. And I just pointed out that the sections which have been invoked are not even remotely attracted. So, it is, as far as the invocation of sections, the justification of arrest is concerned, it's, in my opinion, completely unjustified. The problem here is how the political discourse in this country is vitiated. I mean, I'm hearing the spokespersons of both sides. As far as the public discourse is concerned, public discourse has gone to a new low. And because it has gone to a new low, there is abuse all around. And because there is abuse all around, whoever, wherever, has got some authority to get back at the person abusing, then invokes the law to actually settle private scores. Now, that is exactly what is happening. Like the Chief Minister of Assam said, he's got FIRs against him because he had said something about another politician's father. So, the BJP has FIR against a congressman because the congressman says something about the BJP leader's father. Now, where is law over here? Where is the legal system over here? And as far as the country is concerned, I think we as sensible countrymen should actually hold all politicians to account, because this debate and discussion we are having over here is in some way engineered because of the stupidities and the lunacies of those in the political gentry who are actually holding this country captive in a discourse which we can do without.
True.
It is not so much as a law, because as far as law is concerned, law always comes after a wrong is committed. But the point is, as far as the wrong is concerned, the wrong is endemic over here.
Right.
And we are discussing here because these are the public positions held by people who shape public opinion. And it is they who the general public watches. And when the general public watches those with authority having position behaving in such unbecoming manner, there will be a complete decline in standards generally. And when there is decline in standards generally, even the best of legal provisions will not help, because the legal system will collapse because of its inundating with these kinds of activities. On this show itself, the way the two spokespersons are at each other, law is over there. They call what Pawan Khera says a slip of tongue. It was not a slip of tongue. It was an intentional act. But if you can condone it by slip of tongue, that means you are not confronting the problem. And the problem is applicable to both sides of the political spectrum, right and left.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Nija, there's another larger story over here, which, because at one level our political parties are so introverted in the politics of the day that they seem to be missing. You know, we are in the middle of G20. We are the president of the G20. We are doing phenomenally well as an economy. The IMF chief, I think yesterday or today, said that India is one of the brightest stars in the global economy. We have so much to look forward to. We have so much to gain. And yet, if you look at our political discourse and the discourse on Twitter and social media, it is abysmal. So what is the India that we actually reflect in our politics today?
Look, Vishnu, I think your question has really hit the nail on the head, because it seems a very small incident, something that will blow over, say, 2 days down the line. But it is actually a very, very serious incident. Not only because, what about the Prime Minister's father, that should never be done about any public personality, least of all the Prime Minister. That's point number one. But the kind of action that it has been followed up with, public deplaning, arrest, and you're absolutely right. What it shows to me an absolute breakdown of not only trust. Trust is a very big word, but communication between the government side and the opposition, which is so vital for a parliamentary democracy. And what is the signal we are giving to the world about India's parliamentary democracy in a year when we proudly, and rightly so, proudly been heading the G20, and the Prime Minister has gone out of his way to make sure events are there and a maximum amount is made of that fact. Now, therefore, I think we need to think. We've talked about it for years, the low level of discourse, the kind of words that have been used against the Prime Minister and the opposition by the ruling side. I think somewhere something has to give way, Vishnu. Somewhere a dialogue needs to start. And, how do we get around it? This is too serious a business to, let things just ride once more. Another episode will come a week down the line. This is not a happy situation for a parliamentary democracy. Forget the individuals involved in it.
Janki Kaun, the BJP spokesperson from Assam. Let's talk a little bit about Assam. Assam has registered 35 cases of offences against the state in 2021, the highest in the country. 22 sedition cases against the activist Akhil Gogoi after the BJP came to power. Jignesh Mevani was arrested by the Assam police twice in April 2022. A policeman from Assam went to arrest and did arrest Pawan Khera today. I have a list of other things as well. So, what does this say about Assam?
These cases, all these arrests were against some action. The action that has taken place today, and especially in case of Pawan Khera, the one thing that I would like to mention here is that nowhere and no one should be spared or should be allowed to get away by making such an insinuating comment against the Prime Minister of a country. It is absolutely hurtful for us. And as a nation, as a region, Northeast has been perpetually neglected for a very, very long time. And after this long spell of darkness, Modi ji has given us immense love. Modi ji has given us immense development. And after that, if somebody makes a comment against Modi ji, any layman in this region will not tolerate this. So this arrest is an outcome of an FIR being lodged by a layman. So it clearly proves that the sentiments of all the people have been hurt, and especially from our region. And now you are also asking, what is the conspiracy? Let me also tell you what is the conspiracy. This is a conspiracy of building an opinion against our Prime Minister. It is a conspiracy of trying to establish something which is not true.
But isn't that the job of the opposition? Isn't it the job of the opposition
a theory which has not been ascertained, a theory which no one has claimed to be true? The Congress is trying to prove this true, which is absolutely untrue.
What theory?
So this is the conspiracy being built against. This is the conspiracy being built against.
What theory is the Congress trying to sort of put forward, which is a conspiracy? I didn't understand.
Trying to link Adani. That's why he made that kind of.
That is a conspiracy.
That kind of absolutely. The shameful comment that he has made. The shameful comment that Mr. Pawan Khera has made, a senior political leader like Pawan Khera, it was not expected of him to make such a comment. No, this kind of degrading comment should not be.
So that comment is a conspiracy.
He tried to pull
that comment is offensive.
Name.
It's rude.
Modi,
but that's a conspiracy.
He tried to pull in the name of our honorable Prime Minister's father. Was that not wrong?
It was horrible. But how is there a conspiracy?
No, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. What is the conspiracy they are trying to build? They are definitely trying to build a conspiracy. They are trying to create an opinion against our honorable Prime Minister. They are trying to create
an opinion against the Prime Minister is a conspiracy. How?
No, Vishnu, what I said is that they are trying to establish something which is not true.
And that's a conspiracy.
And that's why this comment.
Okay.
Why the name of
Okay, Salman, you're trying to establish something not true against the Prime Minister.
Vishnu, I think
Janki, half a second.
Janki ji.
Janki, half a second.
Let me respond, Janki ji.
Salman, go ahead.
It seems to me that the BJP needs basic lessons in what a constitution is and what the constitution provides for. And by the way, the Northeast is not. Please listen to me. I did not interrupt you.
No, Janki, 1 second. You know, we try and avoid the rail fights like this. I will come back to you and I will give you a chance to respond. But let Salman make his point.
It seems to me that what the BJP spokesperson from Assam is saying, that the constitution does not apply in the Northeast. Because in the Northeast, somebody can take offense to anything against the Prime Minister and they'll start filing FIRs. And we, by the way, the opposition, should not build an opinion against the Prime Minister. Then maybe we should just join the BJP. Have you even done basic civics? Have you read the Constitution? Do you know what politics is? That's what politics is. We build an opinion against the opposition, which is, in our case, you
people. By making such an insinuating comment?
Yes, let me tell you. If you want to talk, please listen to me now. Please do not interrupt.
In the name of a father, please answer me first, Mr. Salman.
Yes, let me tell you.
You are trying to make me a lesson on my civics.
This is the if you want to talk about people.
Okay, both of you, 1 second. All right, 1 second. Bring down their voices.
Don't interrupt.
1 second. Let's keep this civil. Salman, why doesn't the Congress party? Janki, you'll force me to end this debate. I don't want to do that. I really don't. Just bear with me.
This is very strange.
Salman, why don't you, in the Congress, apologize for that remark? Don't make up a...
I will.
Don't say that it was accidental. We all saw what happened.
Vishnu, I am willing to make the following offer on behalf of a party. Let the Prime Minister apologize to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi for what he called her. Let the Prime Minister apologize to Rahul Gandhi by calling his father, who was killed by terrorists, corrupt, number one. The same former Prime Minister who was exonerated by the Supreme Court, no less. Let the Prime Minister apologize to Shashi Tharoor, my friend, for calling my late friend Sunanda Pushkar a 50 crore girlfriend. I promise you, when he does these things, I will personally go and apologize to him. And I will take
So
Pawan
you will
with
not
me.
take
I
the
can
moral
give you
high,
some
you will
more
not
history.
take the ethical
I will
higher
take
ground
Pawan with me.
and stop
and
that
I will
language.
say we apologize to you, Modi ji, because
it's
it
exactly
was a mistake.
it's exactly what
But let
Aman
him
Lekhi was saying.
apologize
That
first.
this is the level of
Let him
discourse now.
apologize first.
Both sides.
We will
If the
not
list
back
of
down.
apology has to be
They have to
registered, then it
apologize
should
to the
be a
people of
long
the
list.
country. They have to apologize to the people.
What
of the
about
country.
Salman,
monkey?
half a
What about
second.
swear
Let
rat?
Bhaskar reply.
What about the mad dog?
One
What
second.
about the virus?
This is the
Salman,
slogan.
you've got your,
This is
you've
the
made your
slogan.
point. Let
This is
Bhaskar
the
reply.
slogan at the airport
Bhaskar,
today,
go
Vishnu.
ahead.
This was the slogan.
Yes,
Let me
yes,
just say,
Vishnu,
this was the
Salman,
if
one
this is
second.
the condition
Bhaskar,
from
go
Mr.
ahead.
Salman, if this is the
Modi
condition
karta
from
hai,
Mr.
police ko
Salman
aage
to have a
karta hai.
list of
That was the slogan
apology,
at the
then
airport
perhaps the
karta hai.
entire
Salman, one
congressman
second, please.
will be in the queue to apologize. Entire congressman. What about a monkey, Dawood Ibrahim, Adolf Hitler, a swear rat, a mad dog, a virus, a snake, a merchant of lies, and even Sonia
The
Gandhi
Prime Minister is a
2007
big man. He
has,
should come forward. He
has
should come
given mouth
forward
to Saudagar.
and make the start. He should make the
So
start.
how many
and we'll follow
apologies
him.
the
He's a leader.
congressman?
He's the leader. Let him
Each
apologize.
Congress
We will also apologize.
MP, each Congress MP apologize in the parliament
let him
will is not
apologize.
enough to
I
complete
promise
the
you, we
apology
will
list of
apologize.
apology.
All right,
So
okay,
let's
let's
gently
let me be undemocratic and bring down the sound over here and go across to Nija, who I know will perhaps sort of like to sum this up, that this is what we see. I mean, the fact of the matter is that the Congress has been abusive as well. The BJP has been abusive too. The government in power throws the rule book at the opposition, and this is what happens. It's happened in the past as well, and it's happening now. As you listen to this debate, I mean, do you have any concluding thoughts, Nija?
Look, Vishnu, as you say, abuses have come over the years from both sides. But what I would like maybe is for the Prime Minister to take the initiative, despite being in the midst of this storm, to seat the opposition side and say, look, how do we get out of this? There's too much at stake at the moment for India, for our democracy, for this to continue. It does nothing for the ruling side, it does nothing for the opposition. Somebody, as I said, something has to give way and somebody has to take the initiative. It cannot go on the way it is. But I would say one thing, the BJP spokesperson, I think you are, I don't like to use harsh words like this, but it is a very dangerous theory you are putting forward. That, if you criticize the other side, the Prime Minister included, you are building an opinion against the Prime Minister, therefore equal to
a conspiracy.
Destabilize a government. I mean, that undercuts everything about a parliamentary democracy. You cannot campaign, you cannot stand for elections. I mean, what are you putting out? I find this very disquieting, what you have put out this evening.
Janki, quickly, if you want to reply, yes.
Ma'am Nija Chaudhary, maybe I would like to rephrase my words. I said conspiracy because they are trying to build a false propaganda. So there can be an opinion, but there cannot be a false propaganda. They are trying to build a false propaganda against which against this FIR was launched. That's it. Maybe I should rephrase. That's why I'm saying maybe I should rephrase.
False propaganda and not a conspiracy. All right. Well, it does make a little bit
It's a conspiracy, but it was a false propaganda.
Okay. All right. Okay. Look, let's leave it at that. But if this is where things have started ahead of 2024, and it's a long way to the election still, imagine what we are in for, and how does that work for our democracy. Thank you all very much for joining us, and Aman Lekhi, as usual, thank you for placing that legal perspective in front of us as well. A legal system increasingly challenged by this vitiated conversation on all sides of the political spectrum.